Have you ever felt anxious as you start your day, wondering if you have the strength to face the challenges or if someone is protecting you from unseen dangers? Life often brings surprises, sometimes joyful, but also difficult challenges. However, did you know that each morning is an opportunity for you to place your entire day in the loving care and power of God? Morning prayer is not just an act of starting the day, but a declaration that you trust completely in the one who accompanies, protects, and guides you. When you offer sincere prayers to God, you not only receive peace but also place your whole life in His caring hands. So let morning prayer be the key to a day filled with hope and safety. There are times in life when we feel tired and overwhelmed. The burdens of family, work, or even the pain of unexpected loss can weigh down our souls, leaving us in a state of despair and uncertainty. In those moments, do you feel like you are walking alone on a thorny path? But my friend, there is a comforting truth. God never leaves you. He understands every tear, every secret pain you endure. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. This is not just a promise, but a loving invitation to you who are burdened with so much suffering. He is not a distant, cold God, but a caring Heavenly Father who wants you to come close to Him and receive comfort. He sees your every difficulty, your every worry, even the ones you cannot put into words. When you begin each day with prayer, you open your heart to God, bringing peace and hope. That's when you can say to Him, "God, I can't bear these burdens on my own. Please help me." God not only listens, but He acts. He gives you the strength to overcome seemingly impossible challenges, and He helps you realize that you are never alone in your struggle. Imagine a best friend to whom you could confide anything without fear of judgment or misunderstanding. God is that friend, but more than that, He has the power to heal you, to turn your pain into deep comfort. Even if your circumstances don't change immediately, your heart will feel a strange peace, because you will know that everything is in His perfect control. You may ask yourself, how can I surrender everything to God? It can be as simple as saying a heartfelt prayer in the morning. Tell Him about your worries and hurts. These moments will not only help you feel lighter, but will also strengthen your belief that God is working for your best interests. Just as a child turns to his or her parents when they are in trouble, you can turn to God with trust and confidence. Remember, God does not promise you a smooth ride, but He does promise to walk with you and give you the strength to overcome any challenge. When you surrender your pain and weariness to Him, you will receive deep comfort, not temporary comfort, but the eternal peace of the Creator. He is your safe refuge, your guiding light, and your hope that never fails. Even as you walk through life's difficulties, begin each day with prayer. It is not just a word, but a bridge to draw closer to God, to let Him into your life, and to experience the fullness of peace and love that only He can give. In His arms you are safe, even in the midst of life's greatest storms. In the midst of life's chaos, it's easy to feel unworthy of love or protection, especially when faced with past mistakes or failures we can't forgive ourselves for. But guess what? God's love isn't dependent on what you've done or who you are. He loves you unconditionally, like a father loves his child, regardless of circumstances or faults. When you feel lost, disappointed in yourself, or think you are unworthy of love, remember God's promise. "I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore with loving kindness I have drawn you." Jeremiah 31:3. His love is not conditional or based on performance. It is a timeless love that never changes no matter what situation you find yourself in life. You may think that with all your mistakes, weaknesses, and failures, how can God love and protect you? But remember that Jesus came to this world not to find perfect people, but to save the lost, the broken, and the weary. He Himself said, "Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick." Matthew 9:12. That means that no matter how small or sinful you feel, God is waiting for you with open arms, just as the Father waited for the prodigal son in the parable to return. God not only loves you, but He also promises to protect you in all circumstances. Like a shepherd caring for each of his sheep, He keeps an eye on you, always ready to rescue you from danger and lead you to safe pastures. Though you pass through waters, I will be with you. Though you pass through rivers, they will not overwhelm you. Though you walk through fire, you will not be burned. Isaiah 43:2. These words are not only a promise of protection, but also an affirmation that no trial can separate you from His love. You may ask yourself, how can I feel God's love and protection in my most painful moments? The answer is simple. Draw close to Him with an open heart, even when you don't know what to say. Morning prayer is a time to open your heart and feel His comforting and protective presence. God not only listens, but He also understands the deepest things in your heart. Sometimes His loving presence is shown through a strange sense of peace in the midst of chaos, or through the way He arranges things so that you realize you are not alone. With God, you are always accepted. He does not reject you because of what you have done. On the contrary, it is in your weakest moments that God is closest to you, protecting you from unseen dangers and giving you the strength to stand up again. You do not have to prove yourself worthy of His love, because God's love is a gift to you, not a reward to be earned. No matter what your day is like, no matter what your circumstances, God loves you and protects you. Nothing can separate you from His love. And when you let Him into your life, you will realize that even in the midst of the greatest storms, you are always surrounded by the loving and reassuring arms of your Creator. God is not only a refuge, but also an affirmation that you are valuable. In His eyes, you are priceless. When you look at your life, do you ever ask yourself, who am I? What value do I have in this big world? Amidst the pressures of society, it's easy to get caught up in feelings of inferiority or disorientation, thinking that you're just a small, nameless person. But remember, in God's eyes, you are a unique creature, created with special love and purpose. The Bible affirms, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans for good and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." Jeremiah 29:11. This means that you are not an accident in this world. God has put you here with a clear plan, and each day of your life has meaning in His loving plan. Sometimes we may not see this right away, but God sees the whole picture of your life. He sees your true worth and the wonderful things you can achieve. Did you know that out of the billions of people in the world, no one is exactly like you? Your abilities, talents, and even the challenges you face are all part of God's unique plan for you. He not only sees you as an individual, but He equips you with the strength and resilience to fulfill His purpose. Even the wounds and failures you experience do not diminish your worth. Instead, they highlight your strength, as God uses your suffering to grow and help others. But how do you discover your worth and live up to it? First, you need to begin to see yourself not through the eyes of the world, which is full of unfair standards and pressures, but through the eyes of God. He doesn't see what you've done wrong or what you lack, but rather He sees your potential, your courage, and your deep-seated dignity. In God's eyes, you are precious and irreplaceable. Imagine yourself as a seed in the gardener's hands. God knows exactly how you will blossom, and He is ready to care for you through every stage, from your weak days to your strong days. Even when you feel like a small seed, trust that God sees in you a mighty tree, capable of protecting and strengthening others. Don't let negative voices or disappointments make you forget your true worth. God has given you special gifts, maybe empathy, the ability to love, or a talent, so that you can live not only for yourself, but also to enrich the lives of those around you. Every action you take, no matter how small, has meaning when you do it with the belief that you have a God-given mission. And finally, don't be discouraged if you don't see your path clearly right now. Remember, God is with you. As you seek Him in prayer, especially in the morning, He will guide you, open the way, and show you the purpose for which you were created. As you trust, walk in faith, and see yourself through His loving eyes, you will realize that you are not only valuable, but also have incredible power to do greater things than you ever dreamed possible. If you are living in dark days where all doors seem closed and all hope seems lost, remember that God is a God of renewal and extraordinary miracles. In His loving plan, nothing is impossible. Today's suffering, disappointment, or trial can be your launching pad into a future filled with light and joy. If you are living in dark days where all doors seem closed and all hope seems lost, remember that God is a God of renewal and miracles. In His loving plan, nothing is impossible. Today's suffering, disappointment, or trial can be your launching pad into a future filled with light and joy. God once said, "Behold, I make all things new." Revelation 21:5. This is not just a promise, but also an affirmation that in God, nothing is permanent. The darkest circumstances can be transformed, the deepest wounds can be healed, and seemingly lost dreams can be restored. He not only renews everything around you, but also renews your very soul, bringing new life, energy, and hope to keep you going. You may be asking yourself, do miracles really exist? Why haven't I seen them in my life? The answer lies in putting your trust in God and being open to seeing miracles in the smallest things. Miracles don't always come in spectacular forms. Sometimes miracles are peace in the midst of storms, a new door opening when you thought everything was over, or the strength to bounce back after a seemingly insurmountable setback. Look at the life of Jesus. He not only performed miracles of physical healing, but also brought spiritual healing to those who had lost all hope. Just as He healed the woman who had been bleeding for 12 years through her faith alone, your faith has healed you. Mark 5:34. So God is inviting you to put your faith in Him, to let Him perform miracles in your life. Your faith is the key to unlocking the wonders that God has prepared. More importantly, the miracle is not just a change in your external circumstances, but also a change in your inner self. When you bring your worries, your hurts, and your deepest desires to God, He will change the way you see life, helping you see the light even when you don't see the way out. In God's care, joy comes not only from the resolution of difficulties, but also from the peace and hope that all things can be renewed over time. Remember, life is a journey, and every day is an opportunity to trust in God's good plan. No matter what situation you find yourself in today, God is working for your good. He turns weeping into dancing. He puts off mourning and puts on gaiety. Psalm 30:11. Never give up hope, because healing, joy, and renewal are always near. All you have to do is keep the faith, keep praying, and believe that God is with you, working miracles beyond your expectations. Miracles are not rare or random occurrences. Miracles are signs of God's love and power in your life. And when you live with faith in Him, you not only see miracles in the big things, but you also see them in the small moments, the small steps that lead to a brighter future. Let your faith in God be your guiding light, because the biggest miracles often start with the smallest faith. When you have experienced God's love, protection, and miracles in your life, you will realize that the greatest joy and blessing comes not just from receiving, but also from giving. God not only wants us to live in His love, but also to be the light, the reflection of that love in the lives of others. Our mission is not to receive blessings, but to live lovingly and kindly, to enrich the lives of those around us. The Bible says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Matthew 5:14. God calls you to be a light in the darkness, bringing hope and comfort to those who are hurting or lost. When you show love and kindness, you not only help others feel God's presence, but you also give yourself a greater sense of purpose. Start with small but meaningful things: a smile, a word of encouragement, or a sincere helping hand when someone needs you. Kindness doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Sometimes it can be as simple as taking the time to listen, sharing a meal, or comforting someone who is sad. These small things, when done with love, can make a bigger difference than you think. Jesus set the example for us by loving everyone unconditionally, without regard for who was worthy of love. He washed the feet of His disciples, healed the sick, and even loved those who betrayed Him. God's love was not limited to words, but was demonstrated through acts of compassion and sacrifice. He taught us that loving is not just a responsibility, but also a way to show our gratitude for the great love He has shown us. Think about the people around you. Is there someone who needs help? Is there someone who needs encouragement to overcome a challenge? When you act with kindness and love, You become God's instrument to spread healing, joy, and hope. These acts not only bring meaning to the lives of others, but also fulfill your own. Love one another as I have loved you. John 15:12. This is not advice, but a divine command for all of us. And more than that, love and kindness are the way we express our gratitude to God. When you do good deeds, when you give a little love, that is also the moment when you say to God, I thank you for the love you have given me, and I want to share that love with the world. Don't hesitate to be the light, because every act of love you do is a small ray of light that contributes to lighting up the whole world. Your life, when lived with kindness and love, becomes a powerful testimony to God. Live so that others will see His presence in you. A loving, just God who calls us to live meaningful lives. Do not fear that your kindness will be forgotten or overlooked, because in God's eyes, every small act of kindness has eternal value. In the loving arms of God, each of us finds comfort, protection, value, and great hope. From morning prayers, to comfort in the midst of trials, to faith in renewal and miracles, all affirm that God is with us and calls us to live out our full purpose. He not only blesses us, but also invites us to be a light in the world, spreading love and kindness to those around us. Remember, you are created with unique value, and the hardships you are going through are not the end, but opportunities for God to work miracles in your life. No matter how weak or unworthy you feel, God's love has not left you. He is inviting you to trust in Him, to live a life that is not only safe and secure in His care, but also meaningful as you share that love and light with others. Please start each day with prayer, entrusting your struggles and joys to God. Trust that no matter how challenging life may be, you are guided by a God who understands, loves, and is willing to make things new. And finally, let your life be a living testament to His everlasting love, through love, kindness, and gratitude. With God, you are safe, you have purpose, and you are a light to shine in this world.